What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Alex here. This is Graphic Novel Collector, but instead of doing my usual reviews or previews or top 10 videos, I am stoked to do a live interview with Drew Rose, who is one of the creators of a brand new comic book and graphic novel series that just got launched on Kickstarter. It's called Alex Ghost. I'm going to bring him in now and welcome him on in. All right. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's great. That's just...
Hey, what's going on, Alex?
What's up, man? How are you doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. Going full speed all day, every day for 2 weeks. So just keeping it going.
Absolutely. So Alex Ghost, brand new graphic novel that's about to well, the Kickstarter's been started. It's been kickstarted. And you have you're getting there. You're about 40% of the way through, and things are heading in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
First off, the premise, excellent. Yeah. Just want to say that on air. I don't think I've told you that yet.
Also, he's named after you, so.
No, I know. I just wanted to say that obviously I was the inspiration for the name, obviously. Yeah. And also the art is incredible.
So good.
Yeah, chef's kiss, absolutely.
Got so lucky with the artist.
Absolutely. So first things first, before we get started, if you enjoy this kind of content, let me know in the comments section. If you have any questions for Drew or the rest of the creative team, let them know down in the comment section, and I will be able to relay those to them and respond accordingly. What?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll respond to you in the comments if you have any questions. But let's take a look at this Kickstarter real quick before we jump into these questions here.
Oh yeah, let's give that a watch.
Yeah.
I put some time on this video.
All right, here we go.
People die every day. He's usually one of them. Paranormal investigation can be easy when you're able to interact with the other side. A family secret slowly rises from the past. Evil forces unleashed. If you need help solving your ghostly mysteries, call Alex Ghost Paranormal Investigations.
All righty. So that is the Kickstarter intro video. Super sick. Super sick. So that kind of gives you the vibe of the book. Currently, we're sitting at, well, you're sitting at 1517 of your total 3,500.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you're what, 40-ish% of the way there?
43.
With 16 days left. So when this comes out, there will be 15 days left. But let's talk about Alex Ghost. That's why we're here. So first things first, why should people back this Kickstarter and this book?
Oh man, you know why? I kind of came up with this, first of all, like a couple days ago. Not first of all, a couple days ago. It was like, we're not paying AI to do this. We're actually paying an actual artist.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is coming from lifelong comic book fans that didn't want to give the same old, like over and over again. Like, here's a superhero got bit by a spider. His parents are dead. And he's from an exploding planet. No, this is completely different. And if you like paranormal activity, horror, and there's still a little dash of superhero in there, this book is for you. That's why you should back this book.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it looks, I was actually going to ask you, is it horror or is it action adventure? Because like, I feel like just based on the premise alone, it could go either way.
Yeah. So we're going to, some stories will lean heavy into like horror. There will be stories that are just straight up horror. Then there'll be stories that are, you know, more action adventure. But it's a mix. It's a mix of a lot of things, like Reaper, the TV show Reaper, Friday the 13th, the series, and those are really the two big ones that come to mind. And if anyone has never seen either of those shows, try to hunt them down and check them out. They're awesome.
Absolutely.
Friday the 13th, the series, I think, came out in the 80s. So it's been a bit.
So how did this idea come about? So you, first off,
yeah,
your name's Drew Rose. What's
I'm
your,
Drew, by the way, sorry. Hey, I'm Drew.
It says it right there.
Yeah,
but yeah. So you're Drew Rose, but you also have a co-writer.
I do.
And what's their name?
His name is David Tickner.
Awesome. Yeah, and the artist
Marco DeFio.
Yeah, and so you commissioned him, or how did you guys get into contact with them?
So Dave is relentless at finding artists. He's 3 for 3 on the books we're working on. So
nice.
I would trust him to talk to anybody at this point. But he stumbled upon Marco, and I think Marco was just slightly out of college, and we were like the first people I think that approached him to do something. And this was like 2019, 2020-ish era, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, one thing, we pitched it and we didn't get, you know, the response we wanted. We were just kind of like, oh. This was before we were like, we're not going to be stopped. Like we're doing comics one way or another.
Right.
But we came back to him a couple years later and he still wanted to do the book. We're like, thank you. So now we're here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how did you and him come up with the idea for Alex Ghost?
So I was trying to write books by myself for a while, and I was just like, I need a writing partner. So then I bounced off ideas off of him, and he was like, oh, these are really cool. And then one day I was like, hey, do you want to write these with me? And he was like, yeah. And that's how that happened.
So pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was a short story. But I was working on a book that was kind of like a Spawn ripoff. I'm sorry, Echo.
It was inspired by.
No, Echo. Echo's the right term. It's, you know, it's not a ripoff necessarily. I borrowed elements.
Sure.
But I came up with this character that died and would come back all the time. And the more I was messing with him, I was like, I like this character way better than my Spawn Echo. And I was like, well, I'll just start coming up with ideas for him. And then once that happened, the floodgates opened, and I had so many ideas, and I was just like, I need help narrowing the focus and self-editing. So I brought my buddy Dave on, and he's definitely helped in that regard. I think like big picture stuff, and then he kind of, like I just did, I'll do the motion again. He narrows it down and focuses it.
That's awesome.
Takes my raw energy and harnesses it for good, and he blocks the bad.
I think that's a good way to work, honestly. Have somebody like the world builder and the general story designer, like story layout, and then somebody, you know, and obviously when you're, I assume, maybe not on it, obviously, but I assume when you're writing, like in terms of like actual dialogue, you guys are both adding to the story.
Oh, totally. We're pretty much like we're playing tennis. We're volleying back and forth. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. And then it even changes when we letter it, because we also letter the book ourselves. So we'll be going through the book and be like, this dialogue is chunky. Let's make this better.
Trim the fat a little bit.
Yeah. So we do a lot of self-editing while we're lettering as well.
Make the conversations flow a little bit easier. Make it seem like more of a actual conversation rather than, you know, a comic book dialogue. Awesome. Well, why did you choose the collected edition format rather than going issue by issue?
So it's cost.
I guess I should preface this by saying, if you didn't know, this is a 72-page book. So it is essentially a trade paperback. You're getting essentially 3 issues in this one piece of, artwork, this one comic book, this one graphic novel. So why did you choose that as opposed to just, you know, doing a monthly release or maybe quarterly release or something?
So that's kind of going to be the aim at some point, is trying to do like a quarterly release.
Sure.
Where But in terms of like with other titles, so we're going to be rotating our 3 titles, and there'll always be something that we're going to rotate other stuff in its place.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do stuff quarterly. It's just not going to be the same thing quarterly.
Sure.
And that is to help us be able to produce more and not rush any of our other projects. Especially, like I said, it's more cost effective to us to do it in this 72-page graphic novel format. Probably might be a little bit more than 72 pages, but it's at least going to be 72 pages.
Yeah.
So just saying, it's just cost effective, and I would like to do monthly, but considering how independent this is, it's just not possible.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the quarterly model for independent creators,
Yeah.
I don't know Dave, so I don't know if he has like children, but obviously having kids, having a job, by the time you get home, maybe you don't want to write, maybe you don't want to draw, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So releasing it quarterly, long-term, or semi-long-term makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
And the good thing too is, like, I'm sure I couldn't pull a title off the top of my head, but I know from working in comic book stores, there's stuff that gets picked up that was at a different publisher, and they just relaunch it and start it over or break it up or do whatever they need to make it fit their model. So just saying, hopefully it gets picked up and we can do that.
Yeah, no, I would, and I don't know, but I guess, is that the goal then? Is that the goal for it to?
The goal is to just put as much hard work and effort in this as possible.
Yeah.
Just show the commitment and stick to the commitment, and hopefully it's going to pan out at some point. The plan right now is to just get a handful of projects under our belt, and then we're probably going to start working on pitches again. So we have some other ideas that we want to do, and we just need to get some stuff out there.
Yeah, that's an interesting part. And I know this isn't, on our list, but I think it's interesting for those folks that might be in this, kicking the tires on becoming comic book creators themselves. If you want to talk maybe about the process in which you pitch, because I think, going from a comic book reader to a comic book creator, there's a lot of mystery behind how that process. So if you could talk to that a little bit, and obviously, I keep saying obviously, but
obvi,
bro. But for those that don't know, you have other books. You've done other books.
I have. I've done one other book. We did a single issue. It was fun. It was definitely the breaking the seal, if you will, for us.
Yeah.
It was called Ginormous. It's basically like Looney Tunes and Venture Brothers that involved a giant man, pretty much. It follows Grant Givens, giant guy, in a book called Ginormous. His girlfriend's Giant Gina. You get it. So it's super goofy, and it's supposed to be fun. Alex Ghost is not. It's fun, but it's a little bit more serious.
It's more serious, yeah.
So we wanted to change tones. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, no, I was just going to say, if you want to talk about the pitch process, real quick, we don't have to spend much time on this, but just for the viewers that are maybe kicking the tires on becoming creators themselves.
Just when you have an idea, make sure you know what the ending is, okay? Try and keep it short and concise, and that will make it so much easier on you. There's no right or wrong way to just script a book, but just make sure that, you're doing your due diligence. You're reading a lot of things. You're doing your research, and then whoever you're pitching to, make sure it's like a resume for work is what this is. So you need to make it and format it to however who you're pitching it to.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's money. And speaking of money, what, you have the Kickstarter right here.
Yeah.
For
back up again.
$3,500.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're about 40% of the way. But what are you planning to do when you hit your goal of $3,500?
So when we hit that goal of $3,500, that's basically going to cover costs for creating all the items. So get publishing, if we do t-shirts, buttons, stickers, whatever the things that get backed. And then the rest of that money is just going to go to Marco and be like, please keep drawing. Don't leave us.
Yeah.
Because he's actually, I'm going to make an update with this in here. He's 4-0 on Kickstarter. So I do not want to be that blemish on his resume.
Wow. Yeah.
no pressure, you know?
No, definitely. Definitely. No pressure at all. Um, awesome. Awesome. So that kind of answers that question. Um, how long do you plan to make this book? How many issues is this bad boy going to be?
So without giving too much away, there's a certain point in the book, there's some other biblical forces at play. And we were wanting to do 66 issues and 6 giant sized like annuals. So basically,
Wow.
we're going to do 66 monthly issues, and in between, like every 2 story arcs, we were going to do a 72-page giant sized book. But that's not going to work right now. So that was the original plan. That's okay. Plans can change. It's all
Absolutely.
right. What did Mike Tyson say? You got to plan until somebody punches you in the mouth.
Yeah.
And, it was very quick, thankfully. So we were like, oh, this ain't going to work. It's not sustainable. So that's why we moved the model to that. So some stuff might get cut. We'll try to be more focused. But our original plan was 66, 72 issues. So
I think, you saying, that's not the plan and so on. I think that is also a nice bit of information for, people who are looking into writing their own book, because, you got to be malleable, especially if it's your first time.
Oh, yeah.
And, this isn't your first book, but for those that it might be, maybe writing 100-issue arc on your first time in might not be the correct play.
That's why I said know your ending and make it concise.
Yes. So, no, that's awesome. That's awesome.
You need to be a sponge, and you need to be able to take a critique from anybody.
Absolutely.
Including your grandma.
Yes. And well, I think also, and obviously me just doing YouTube stuff and creative stuff, being able to take criticism from people that are going to tell you the truth.
Oh my God.
Not just your partner or your brother or whatever, who people are going to be yes men and tell you what you want to hear. You need to tell coworkers, or maybe the person at your work that doesn't like you. Maybe they'll be a little bit more honest.
That's the best one, actually.
Yeah. Because if they like it, you'll be able to tell. It's like, oh man, maybe I got something here. And then obviously if they just like shit all over it, then it is what it is. But and then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board.
And that's okay. You got to be ready.
Absolutely.
To always
absolutely. Be ready. So what is your creative process on this? I think that's another interesting side of creating in general, but definitely for comics.
So watch whatever you're going to work on, try to watch a lot of it. So that way, if you use a standard trope, you can use it differently, and you can either then, if you don't do that, you can just avoid it altogether and try to not do the same old trope over and over again.
Sure.
Or you can also read a lot. Just read a lot. Read, period. Comic books, novels, news, whatever. Just read. You need to be reading.
Yeah.
You never know when that's going to spark you. And then from there, you just come up with ideas that you think are cool, and you just kind of just slowly like snowball that down the hill, and hopefully by the end you've got this giant awesome idea that you can do a Kickstarter or pitch or whatever you need to do for.
Yeah. So when you're coming up with ideas, do you have like any set way to do it, or like, because I know some people will like, oh, you got to get the world down, or oh, you got to get the characters down, or maybe it's, well, you got to get the story first, and then you can build the world and the characters around the story. So what's your process on that?
So I've got a notebook and I handwrite stuff. Hopefully
I do that too.
Too long spoilers.
Yeah, right. Oh God.
Whoops. But yeah, there's stuff like this.
Yeah.
So
you got to do the thing again.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yeah, there it is.
That's a blank. Yeah,
oh, look, that's
you can't see it. But yeah, I think it really depends. It depends on how comfortable you think you are, you are, or you are. Because there's sometimes, I know, right? That was kind of wonky. But
you are.
I'm going with it. You are. Am I? You is. Okay. So basically what I do is I like to just start writing. Like sometimes it does get me in trouble a little bit, and Dave will be like, this makes no sense. I was like, all right, well, we got to work it a little bit. Okay. Like it wasn't a full-fledged idea. Like, that's why I got you. It's like, oh, okay. All right. Well, how are we going to fix this? We'll just let it simmer. Okay. We'll leave it sit and we'll come back to it. And like you said, malleable, like we work it out. And then, I basically I'll either start with a world build or I'll just start in a scene. And then from the scene, I'll have a big bang, if you will.
Yeah.
And everything will build around it. So
absolutely.
It's really just, from the hip, that's my process.
Yeah, that's interesting. Starting with the scene and moving out.
Yeah.
I think is a really interesting way to do it.
Does get you in trouble, but I mean,
sure, but I think that also starting with the world and not having an actual story could lead you down a pretty bad path as well.
Well, yes, because that's me. It's like, all right, let's go. Let's go. So that's why I think about the really big plot points. Like, bam, 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 bam.
So having a plot point is
connect the dots.
Yeah. Having a plot point is great, but like just having this amazing, Tolkien-esque world, but not having an actual story is an issue. Like I know a lot of artists that have these amazing worlds built and these semi decent characters, but they don't actually have a story and they kind of get lost in the sauce, if you would. But no, I don't know. It's the great thing about creation is it can come from anywhere and you can go any way with it. Yeah.
No right or wrong way. People get stuck in that thought of like, I've got to do it like this. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You're the creator.
Absolutely. So speaking of being the creator, how much of this project have you creators created thus far?
So we've actually got Marco's finishing up the second chapter in this, and he'll be starting the third one very soon in the next coming days. We're expecting we'll be getting the colored pages, and then me and Dave are going to letter them this week and next week, and those will be done. And then we'll just be waiting on pages for the third one, and as they come in, we'll letter those, and then we'll get all that uploaded and formatted, and then we'll have that sent off to the printer.
Awesome. Wow. It's all coming together. Awesome. So other than Spawn, what else influences you?
Like I said, horror does. Paranormal activity shows really inspire me. I like watching Ghost Adventures a lot.
Absolutely.
Let's see what else. And then, dude, wrestling. I like so much stuff.
You know I like wrestling. Look, I got MJF right there. Like that's right. Look, he's better than us, and we know it.
We know it. But yeah, I just like horror, science fiction, comic books, wrestling. I'm a grown 12-year-old. That's what I am.
That's what I tell my daughter all the time.
Yeah. I even made that comment on your post, that board game that you said rock hard, and I was like, I'm 12.
Yep. Okay. So what are your future plans? Maybe looking to the future, maybe past Alex Ghost. Do you have any future plans?
More Alex Ghost. It's what the people want. And then we're going to do Ginormous. We're going to do a giant collection of Ginormous. It's going to have 5 full issues in it. So it's going to be 100+ pager. And then after that, we have another book called Transplant, which is in the Alex Ghost universe. And so
is sick.
And Transplant is going to have some of the characters from Alex Ghost in it, like Weird, that's in this character list. And Simon and Alice are going to be in it. Basically, this angel gets shut out of heaven, falls to Earth, has amnesia, but they've got like superpowers. And they get into a brawl with the bad guys pretty much, and they turn his powers off and control him, and they push him through a portal. And once he gets pushed through the portal, he gets hit by a car with these 3 kids that are hanging out on one of their friends' 21st birthday. They all get taken to the hospital. the superhero gets his organs transplanted into the friends, and then those friends all start to develop different superpowers.
Yo, that's pretty sick. I like that.
Of course, there's some like comic book red tape, like because obviously you didn't just go straight to the hospital and get organs out of this person that you were in the same wreck with. But you know, it's just like, come on, suspend the belief there.
It's like comic book science, right?
Exactly. That's exactly
which is way better than real science. Let's be honest.
Yeah, come on, please. It just makes sense.
Awesome. Well, do you have anything else for the viewers? Anything you want to say, or other than go support the Kickstarter?
Please back our book. Support our book. We got a lot of friendly upfront tiers, like the $10 and $20 tier. Like, it doesn't have to be a home run shot, but all the money is going to an artist. So we'd like to keep that going, and hopefully everyone will like it, and we'll make more.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just so you all know, I backed the book at $20, so I'm excited. I'll be getting all the $20. I think that's a second tier perks. Yeah, there we go. Mine doesn't do it. For some reason, but whatever. Yeah, so digital copy and physical copy. Honestly, physical copies good enough for me. I'm not a big digital comic book fan. I love having the look. Super massive, baby. Just read this bad boy. Is great. What else do I got? We got Black Cloak and Sam and Twitch and all sorts of stuff. Those are just bags and boards. Don't be fooled. Okay.
No, there's books. Come on.
Look, Absolute Batman. Go watch my full review of that.
I got filing cabinets. I have a problem. All Transformers.
Yep.
Trade paperbacks.
But yeah, everybody, thank you all so much for watching this video here tonight with Drew Rose. Go check out the Kickstarter. That will be linked down below. You can check that out. And make sure if you enjoyed this kind of content, let me know down below. If you have any questions, like I said, for Drew, let me know in the comments section below. I will get them to him as quick as possible and return. Or if you want to, feel free to stick around. Whenever this goes live, I can tag you and you can kind of check out the comments.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I believe it's going to get backed. I know Dave was going around all the local shops in the area, passing out flyers for it.
Shaking hands, kissing babies.
Absolutely. You don't shake the babies and you don't kiss the hands. That's super weird and very uncalled for. But
people don't wash their hands either, so
yeah. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out with us today and watching this video. If you made it this far, let me know by posting in the comments, Alex Ghost. Yeah, just those 3 words. Alex Ghost.
Let me talk to you.
But yeah, thank you all so much. And again, we appreciate you. Go check out Alex Ghost on Kickstarter today. 40% of the way finished with the Kickstarter. And I'm excited for it. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. And until next time, I'll catch you all on the flippy flop. Adios.
Bye. Check this out.